This guy can steal you an entire series. Jeremy Helvig, 6'4", 210, with a record of 8-2-1 in these playoffs, 2.61 goals against, a .921 save percentage. In net, the other end of the ice, who is very much capable of stealing a game himself, Caden Fulcher, 6'3", 182 pounds, 8-1-1 in these 2018 playoffs. 251 goals against average, a .907 save percentage.
It'll be the visiting Kingston Frontenacs in the whites, trimmed with the black and gold. The homestanding Hamilton Bulldogs in the blacks, trimmed with the gold and white. And how's this for a star-studded face-off? Gabriel Velarde and Robert Thomas. The Bulldogs win it away. It is Thomas joined by Sagen and Nurse. Velarde joined by Newman and Newman. And that's the Finnish Newman, Linus on one wing, Brett Newman, the Canadian, on the other. As the puck will be fired back into the offensive zone. Isaac Nurse right in on Paquette. Brotny, first man to bring it around for Linus Newman. Riley Stillman will stick that away from Gabriel Velarde, who was in flight. Brett Newman flashes it into the offensive zone. And it'll be Justin Lemke with the puck. At least Linus and Brett were 75 and 13, so I don't think I'll have too many problems with that.
Well, these guys haven't seen each other for a while, so I imagine there's going to be a little bit of a feeling out process, unlike we saw in the last game in the regular season when they played.
Ryan Moore strips the puck away out front. Oh, what a stop by Jeremy Helvig.
Yeah, already he's at it.
Right away to Rob Marion, student H. And we've got a penalty coming up. And the officials are calling 2 minutes for high sticking, and I believe it's going to Nick Mattinen. And we're going to take a look, before we get to the penalty, Troy, at the work of Jeremy Helvig.
Yeah, Marion Student Eats on the backhand. He can just get that another 6 inches higher. The Bulldogs are up 1-0 here. They go down the other end of the ice, and Stillman takes a high sticking penalty and puts Kingston on the power play very early here.
Newman, along with Day, Velarde, Jones, and Pooh, the power play unit for the Frontenacs. And it's Gabriel Velarde down low for Cliff Pooh. Save made by Caden Fulcher. Robert Thomas gets to the puck, and he'll send it down the rink. Boy, that is some collection of talent that the Frontenacs can throw over the boards in their #1 power play.
Yeah, 26% during the regular season would normally get you best in the OHL, but they are just at 8th now.
Gabriel Velarde wanders in. Sean Day.
During these playoffs.
Puck was shoveled around the back for Linus Newman. Day tried to accelerate, but Robert Thomas read the play well, chopped the puck out and down the rink. Down to 1:10 left in the man advantage. Sean Day dropping it off for Cliff Pooh. That was knocked down by Will Bitten, who's got a chance to break forward. Sean Day read it well and stepped back with it. Now Commando on the exchange. Back for Bitten in front, he whacks it down, and Helvig's there. I have a feeling I'm going to be saying that a lot this series.
Yeah, 2 opportunities so far in this game, the best ones, and they go to the Bulldogs here early on. 1 shorthanded.
And the folks up in Kingston are saying, so what? That's old news to us. As Max Jones dances in, Fulcher puts the glove down on top of it. He'll take the face-off to his left. 37 seconds left in the penalty to Mattinen, and we'll show you how he got it here. Keep an eye on the stick right there.
Yeah, a little high, and gloves up in the face as well. Not so much the stick, but the face wash by Riley Stillman that got him the 2 minutes, 37 seconds left to go on this Kingston power play.
All right, Troy, that was Nick Mattinen. As Rassinen shovels it along. Shot just wide of the goal. It'll run around the boards. Robertson steps back along. Matt Strome gets in his way. Strome on the backhand will send that all the way down the rink. Rassinen with the brakes on behind the goal. And watch out for Brett Newman, who can positively fly. They'll lay that along. Fulcher reads it out to Hanley, off the glass, past Robertson, out once again. Mattinen's on his feet, 2 seconds and 1. The door's open, Mattinen's back to the ice, and we're even in full 5-on-5 once again.
Yeah, Bulldogs struggled a little bit during the playoffs so far on the penalty kill. It's good to get that first one under your belt and over with.
Puck got chopped down, and now Hotchkiss runs it off of the linesman. Now it's tossed into the offensive zone, and Kingston wants a change. Long feet ahead will find Ryan Moore. Marion Studenic flying to the front of the net, but too much traffic in the way. Now it'll come around to him on the boards. Pinned by Connor Ali. Flipped up for Tyler Burney. Knocked down by Nick Mattinen. Ali back around for Mitchell Byrne. And now Byrne will get it ahead to Cranford, and they'll have a zone exit. Connor Ali tossing it into the zone. Ben Gleason, first man back, goes off the boards. Through traffic onto Zach Jackson, who leaves it off for Ryan Moore. Back to Jackson, cuts to the front. Helvig makes the stop.
Well, 3 big stops by Helvig, and they were 3 identical plays. Bulldogs coming into the backhand. Here is the drop for Moore over to Jackson, who it was at the end of his shift. And it's good to see that fourth line contributing. And again, another Bulldog who just can't get it up on the backhand over Helvig. And the more work he gets, the stronger he gets. So they're going to have to get him early if they're going to get him at all.
Isaac Nurse pinned to the backboards. Velarde runs Thomas off. Puck is poked ahead. Linus Newman brought it back into his own end, and now it's Isaac Nurse back for Justin Lemke. Lemke on to Stillman. Played into the skates of Sagen. Brotny whacks it the other direction. Linus Newman after Lemke. He'll wrap it around, and there's Stillman. Can't quite edge it out of the zone. Second chance, and Stillman will carry it to safety. Stillman along for Lemke. Slow play forward for Robert Thomas, who dances his way through Brett Newman, but the second layer was there for help. Isaac Nurse tried to drag it through. He got knocked down by Gabriel Velarde, and the puck gets thrown into the Hamilton zone. Vulture out to Connor Roberts. He lays it ahead. Zach Jackson trying to accelerate past Rossinen, and does. And Rossinen folds up Zach Jackson to the boards.
Well, that was a car accident.
It's not fair when the brick wall can move, as Zach Jackson has to come off of a skate. Connor Walters throws one from the point, and Cliff Pugh will step back to the puck.
Yeah, I really like what this fourth line is doing. John Gruden going right back to them, and they are rewarding him with some real offensive zone presence.
And Elliot Austin plays that ahead. It gets chopped loose, and now Cliff Pugh flying ahead. Pugh jams on the brakes, goes across the rink for Sean Day. That'll get knocked down and back the other direction. Will Bitton with a bit of space. Bitton sending it across, wanted Strome, but it was read well by Cliff Pugh on the back check. Bitton tried to turn it out of the corner. That hit Brotny on the way through. Puck is high, batted down by Strome, and now out of the zone.
Yeah, that might have been one there where Bitton may have wanted to shoot there. Going behind and across the ice.
Yeah, there was a lot of traffic in the way. There's Ted Nickel with the backboards. On for Tyler Burney. That's picked away by Ben Gleason. He goes off the boards, and now it's Marion Studenic to race ahead and negate icing. Studenic pinned up by Paquette, trying to pull it through into his skates. He was all by himself up front as his line changed out behind him. Should say changed on behind him as Moore and Camano trimmed. Lemke ahead for Studenic. Helvig out to play it. Camano chasing down. Moore knocks it down along the backboards. Shovels it all the way around. Paquette first man there. Picked along by Nickel, but not out of the zone. Second chance does get it out. Studenic back on to Stillman. A lot of hooting and hollering in behind the play. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, that was Paquette who was knocked Camano down.
Moore picks that out front. Brotny ahead for Ryan Cranford.
Fans thought that was a little bit late. Paquette just finishing his check on Camano.
Gleason ahead for Thomas. On to Sagen. Oh, wanted Thomas, and the long radar sweep of Emeli Rossinen was there to take that away immediately. Sagen pitches it loose. Isaac Nurse around the back of the goal. Goes through the check of Velarde, but Day's the next man. And it's Linus Newman. Robert Thomas can't drag it through. Second chance will come from Gleason, and it's out of the zone. Rossinen under trouble from Sagen. Now Thomas jumps on the puck. Robert Thomas dealing out to the front, partially blocked on the way through. Will Bitten gloves it down. He's got Sajin with him. Sajin tried to let it go, and again the long arm of the law that is Emeli Rasanen gets in the way.
It's such an advantage for the Kingston Frontenacs. Covers half the ice if he just stretches out that wingspan.
6'7", 226 pounds. A little difficult to get by.
It brings up that average on this Kingston team, who average out at about 6'1", 193, and they've got about 20 pounds on average to the Bulldogs, 6 foot, 182.
A lot of that may belong to Emeli Rasanen and Sean Day, who goes 6'3", 218, even Velarde at 6'3", 207. That's three guys who have pro size right now.
Yeah, and throw in Max Jones there at all as well. And this Kingston team is certainly a thick team.
6'3", 210 is Max Jones. It's funny, when you look at Max Jones, he doesn't look that tall, but he's built like a fire hydrant.
Yeah, on skates.
Plays like a heat-seeking missile as Entwistle tries to chop that forward. And now Cliff Pooh the other way. That is to say, if you have a pulse, Max Jones will hit you. As Hotchkiss back towards the line. Strome picks it forward and put it up and into the bench out of play as Hotchkiss got into him there along the sideboards. 11:32 to play in the first period. Faceoff will come back into the Hamilton zone.
Yeah, let's take a look at the scratches for the Kingston Frontenacs tonight. Liam Murray not in the lineup, serving his 5-game suspension rather. He can return back in game 5 for the Kingston Fronts. Emmett Gordon, Brian Laurie, and Paul Larrabee not in the lineup for Kingston. And that moved Connor Ali up to a defensive pairing for the Frontenacs. They were dressing 7 defense in that Barrie series.
Jackson pokes the puck through for Ben Garrigan, who attacks the net. Garrigan back out for Lemke, along to Riley Stillman, spreading the offense out. That stung Ryan Cranford. And Cranford, who's as tough as they make him, right back up to his skates.
Yeah, he took that right on the side of the leg.
That's not the first time we've seen Ryan Cranford block a shot in this building.
Where there's just not a whole lot of padding.
Oh, Ben Gleason, what a hit that was. Nickel ducked his head down, and Gleason went old school. And now Gleason with the puck and space. Steps in, turns back, all the way around Sean Day, around the goal. Gleason lays it back to the line. Moore right on to Studnicka, tried to pinball one on the backhand. That was deflected away. Gleason again, with a bit of confusion, throws one towards the net. Kingston trying to sort it out in their defensive zone. Gleason down low for Moore. In front, they score! Nick Camano on the second chance makes it 1-0 Bulldogs.
Well, the Bulldogs, if they're going to get some chances against Hulvik, it's going to be second and third chances. Direct the puck towards the net and get some rebounds and get some action going here. This puck comes right down low. Camano takes 1-2 whacks at it, gets it by Hulvik. Finally, with 3 big opportunities they had previous to this one, there's Camano, a big body standing in front of him, trying to take his eyes away. Gets it right past Hulvik. Bulldogs 1-0.
And unfortunately for Jeremy Helvig, he made a scintillating stop on the first attempt, and Camano was just able to pick up the rebound and cash it in. That situation, Troy, all started with Ben Gleason attacking the offensive zone. You can see Kingston's defense could not get sorted out.
And Nick Camano, his 5th goal of these playoffs, and he has just been on fire.
Sage into the backboards, got tied up there. Isaac Nurse plays it down low. Mitchell Kern and Brandon Sage into the backboards again. Puck gets poked ahead, field to the line, and that'll come out past Jack Hanley and down the ring. Hayden Fulcher wraps that around to the open side. Max Jones steps down. Connor Walters is there. Puck gets tied up, pulled through by Mackenzie Entwistle, and now on and out with Isaac Nurse. Sage flipped it ahead, that got caught down, and right back ahead comes Max Jones. A couple of nifty little moves to try to get through. Jones with the dance cycle going, on for Robertson. Fulcher made the save, puck got batted out of the air. Paquette all the way around the back of the goal. And now Hanley brings that up and out. Who knew Max Jones brought tap shoes?
Oh, he's multi-talented.
He had to skip past a couple of Bulldogs and his own guy. I think it was Robertson who almost collided with him. As Mackenzie Entwistle drives this forward. With a picket through on goal. Brotney matched him. Puck comes up the board. Strome back towards the line. There's Nick Mattinen throwing it towards the goal. Puck gets kicked down, and right back out comes Ryan Cranford. Cranford tosses it into the offensive zone. Gleason will be the first back. Gleason and Cranford bump. Gleason kicks it loose to his own stick. Off the boards and right back out. Sean Day ahead. Tyler Burney tosses in. And Nick Mattinen will swoop for it. Mattinen on to Camano. Camano trying to turn the Jets on. Good luck as he tried to get past Linus Newman. And now Sean Day. On to Newman. Up for Brett Newman. Stillman and Velarde to the backboards. And Riley Stillman comes away with it. Camano through center ice, on to Ryan Moore streaking in. Moore tries it up high and caught the outside of the goal. Lemke stepped down, tried to leave it there for Camano. Velarde read that well, pumped it up to the line, and it's Linus Newman in. Tried to guide it out front, it was whacked away by Riley Stillman.
Yeah, Riley Stillman played that one real well.
It was a bad bounce for the Bulldogs. They created the 2-on-1.
Played the shooter, but still managed to take away the pass.
Brett Newman back in. Vulture kicks that away. And now Robert Thomas up for Arthur Kaliev. Kaliev turns wide on Ali to the front. Tried to pitch it upstairs. And I believe that Helvig got a piece of that. Mattinen across. Zach Jackson with space. He tried to go rink wide with Kaliev and Thomas in the neighborhood. Now Thomas holding off Max Jones. Jason Robertson is the next man, and he'll roll it out. Gleason away from Hotchkiss. Now lays it back into the long reach of Nick Mattinen. Mattinen striding forward. On for Thomas again. Thomas hits the brakes. Feeds Nurse on the backhand, who flipped that one high and over the top. Sagen just let one go from the point. Next man to it is Thomas. Byrne erases the opportunity. Connor Ali spins to the backboards. Plays it up the wall, and there's Hotchkiss. Puck is tied up behind the goal. Jason Robertson's try. Save made by Caden Fulcher. 6:31 left to play in the first period. The Bulldogs holding the 1-0 lead on the Nick Camano goal over the Kingston Frontenacs. You're watching Game 1 on Cable 14.
Emergency alerts of life-threatening events help keep us safe. That's why governments and broadcasters have come together to bring more alerts to more Canadians faster. Introducing Alert Ready, Canada's new emergency alert system. When an alert is broadcast, it's time to act. Learn more at alertready.ca.
Well, welcome back to the OHL tonight here on Cable 14. Well, guys, we're going to crunch some numbers now. We saw in the previous round for Hamilton how well the team outshot Niagara. So for those two rounds, Hamilton outshot its opponents 366 to 279. Did a better job so far of Kingston, also keeping their opponents away from the net. However, let's keep in mind that Kingston did have that game that went to 3 overtimes, 77 shots in that one. So when you look at the differential for the numbers, but overall Hamilton has done a better job.
Thank you very much, Laura, as the Bulldogs did do a really nice job in the first two rounds of limiting the opportunities at Caden Fulcher. And of course, Laura makes a great point, Troy. When you go to a game that's triple overtime, that's just on another level of crazy.
Yeah, it was like third longest game in the history of the OHL, something like that.
As Velarde brings this one around. Of course, I did the now infamous one in Ancaster this year that went to 9 seconds left in the third overtime. As Robert Thomas brings that ahead. Thomas pulls it back and fires. Helvig didn't see that until the end. Sagen couldn't get the puck to settle. And Gabriel Velarde's ahead. On to Linus Newman. Lemke stepped in front of that. Brandon Sagen tries to pick it loose. Puck comes to the line and out of the zone. Paquette back for it. Brodny. Oh, threw it on his own goal, and Helvig, luckily at his pads in the right position, is that just rolled off the stick blade of Jacob Brodny. Well, it didn't go in, so he can at least laugh about it now. Oh, that's a miserable feeling as a defenseman.
Yeah, you get that lump in your throat until you know for sure that's not going across the line.
Good thing Helvig realized it quickly. I'm sure he's going to have a word with Jacob Brodny at the intermission and shoot on the other net.
And that's what you call situational awareness, and Helvig had it there.
And whistles, he's going down to the ice, gets it out to Bitten, tried to lay that across. Robertson got in the way of it, picked away again by Entwistle. Will Bitten puts on the Jets and is able to keep it alive. Oh, it's Sean Day back to Emeli Rasanen to settle things down. Rasanen and Day get the puck ahead. Now Robertson delays at the line, throws one towards Caden Fulcher. He'll hang on to that. 4:43 to play in the first period. Let's take another look. And this is a scary moment.
Yeah, just then, and Helvig wasn't expecting it at all. He was just in the right place for the right occasion, and that could have been ugly.
Ryan Moore and Tyler Burney on the faceoff. Truck got scrambled up into skates. The Frontenacs brought it away, and I believe it's Cranford who got the shot on goal. Fulcher had to be sharp to kick that away. Mattinen on to Moore. Long feed ahead. Marion Studenic drives in. Save made by Helvig. No rebound available. Studenic has had a pair of sparkling opportunities in the first period.
Yeah, just some speed. Just beat Connor Ali right around the outside. He gets a shot on Helvig. Tried to go blocker side and just didn't get enough of it. And Helvig made the stop. And he's had to be really sharp in this one. This game could easily be 4-0. Of the 8 Bulldog shots, 5 are of scoring variety, 1 was.
Lemke had that one knocked away. Paquette bounces it off the skate of Brandon Sagen, and that worked out as an indirect. Puck is thrown on Fulcher's goal. That knocked away as Field recovers it. It's Hotchkiss with the initial. As Sagen goes across the rink for Isaac Nurse, who tries to drive in. Pulls the puck through Brodny, who just stayed right with him. Field gets pushed off. Brodny ties up. Nurse and Brodny in a great battle along the boards. They continue to go. Nurse trying to get it loose, and now the puck comes all the way around. Sagen tries to pull that away, and Hotchkiss carrying it on ahead. Fulcher whacks that away for Brandon Sagen. Short feed, Robert Thomas. And it'll be Will Bitten back for it. Oh, Sean Day went hard into the boards. There's no penalty coming on it, but Day is slow to get up. Velarde ahead for Emeli Rasanen, who turns to the outside. Rasanen walks on, and Strome had to block that away.
Day at the end of the bench, skated off very gingerly.
He's staying on the bench, so that's a good sign at the least. As Entwistle will throw this on, Jeremy Helvig makes the save. It really just looked like Day went in awkwardly.
Yeah, get a chance to see the replay there, and Will Bitten just turned and looked just to ensure there was no penalty on the play, and there wasn't, and he didn't know really what to do or whether they're going to blow it because Day was hurt. You can see right there.
You can see Bitten tried to come around and catch him towards the shoulder, but I don't think he did. Troy Bitten might have got away with one there. That's when you see the forward try to come in and almost shrug through to get around the side, but it looked like contact came in the 7 on the 74. Puck gets pulled out for Nick Camano on the backhand, throws it through the crease. That's all Helvig gave him. There was no angle to put that in. Gleason snaps it up, goal and scores! Ben Gleason through the crowd in front. It's 2-0 Bulldogs.
Well, again, it's Nick Camano in front of the net, causing all kinds of havoc, taking away the eyes of Jeremy Helvig here as Gleason just fires this one right on the net. And I don't think anybody touched it. It went through a hole and by Jeremy Helvig. Bulldogs up 2-0. And Gleason with his second of these 2018 playoffs. You're going to see it right here. Goes back to Gleason. Just a wrister. And nobody touched that. It went right through, I believe, the legs or inside pad of Jeremy Helvig.
That's some kind of angle to the net from Ben Gleason as Robert Thomas tries to wander his way in. Bulldogs offside. Faceoff will come with 2:31 left in the first period. Gleason has that ability, that seeing eye shot from the point. And again, you try not to make comparisons with National Hockey League players, but the last guy that I saw really able to get pucks through traffic like that was Sergei Gonchar.
Yeah, that old hockey cliche, pucks to the net. Well, that's exactly what it means right there.
Isaac Nurse tosses that out front for Sage, and Nurse tries to drag it through, and Mitchell Byrne right away read that. Lemke back for Robert Thomas. On the cycle for Brandon Sage and throws it on. Nurse with a second chance, rolls it to the goal. Nurse is down in front and slow to get back to his feet as the high flip is out for Linus Newman. Puck runs across, Riley Stillman's there. And Thomas will chase it down. Mitchell Byrne puts the brakes on. Byrne and Thomas have seen a lot of one another in the past. Byrne came over from the Erie Otters. Of course, Thomas from the London Knights.
Yeah, Byrne with a lot of playoff experience.
And when the Frontenacs went shopping, they put the wish list out to the Western Conference, and I think they accomplished pretty well all of it.
Yeah, Mitchell Byrne with 44. This is his 45th playoff game. Some good experience.
As Will Bitton right back in. Wanted it out high, but changing on at the perfect time was Jason Robertson. Now Max Jones with the cut in. Cliff Pooh drags it through his own legs to attack the goal, shovels it there. Walters was able to find that out of a thicket of skates in front. Walters and Jones match up to the backboards. Pooh sends it around. Hanley can't get good composite to it. Robertson steps down, fires off the side of the net. Puck is still loose. Jack Hanley takes it to the boards, and it'll be Will Bitton up and out of the zone. Bulldogs had to survive that scramble. Paquette left it in the corner. Rodney on to Robertson. Tosses it down the rink. Nick Mattinen's the next man. Ben Gleason circles back. Ryan Moore carrying it on. On to Marian Studenich. Studenich steps in. Eyes on goal, tried to send it back across for Ryan Moore. That got taken away and a break chance for Kingston. Ted Nickel tossing it into the corner. Gets the puck loose behind the goal. It's tucked in front. Fulcher had to make a marvelous stop on Cranford. That was huge. That would have been a momentum swing to the Frontenacs. Now Gleason on to Studenich, and Rassinen blocks that one away. That is where the first period will end, with the Hamilton Bulldogs holding a 2-0 lead on the Frontenacs. This period of the OHL tonight could be showcasing your company. Call Brent at 905-525 that game. As we are underway in the second period, Nick Mattinen back for the puck in front of Max Jones. And it's Ben Gleason who skated forward on the fresh ice. Ryan Moore bunts it ahead. Camano whacks it around. Studenich pokes it along. Moore for Camano. And puck will be settled there by Jones.
Yeah, no surprise that Gruden has gone back to Camano, Moore, and Studenich to start off the second period. They had all the energy in that first.
Robertson out wide for Jones, who sends it around the boards. Kingston needed the change. Mattinen drags it past Robertson. And now it's Ryan Moore holding off Linus Newman. Moore trying to attack, pulls it through the crowd, and he is going to draw power play for the Bulldogs. It's a hooking call coming to Kingston, It'll be the Bulldogs' first opportunity of the night on the power play, and it looks like it may be Emeli Rasanen headed off. Nope, I stand corrected, it's Paquette.
Jacob Paquette. Moore just beat the both of them right down the middle, and Paquette had nothing he could do but hook Moore, and although it wasn't by definition a huge hooking penalty, the Bulldogs will take that and go to their first power play.
Ben Gleason. Out wide for Robert Thomas. Mackenzie Entwistle creating the traffic in front. Sagen shot from his office and scores again. Brandon Sagen. Oh, he loves that spot on the rink. It's a 3-0 Bulldogs lead.
Yeah, Brandon Sagen, his 9th of the playoff, his 7th power play goal. Thomas didn't take him very long, and over to Sagen, who parks there all the time on the power play, and he put that right by Jeremy Helveg, high glove side.
And I want to give a shout out to Stephanie, one of our Bulldogs super fans. She's followed the team from Belleville. She gave me that line. She recognized how many times Sagen has scored from just inside the top of the circle and asked me if I'd start calling it his office.
Yeah, they're going to start charging him rent.
Robert Thomas back out front for Sagen, and he scores again! Brandon Sagen, 2 goals in 5 seconds, and it's a 4-0 Bulldogs lead.
Yeah, just when things have gone from bad to worse for the Kingston Frontenacs here. A beautiful pass out to Thomas, to Sagen, all timing. That was just an incredible pass by Thomas because it was almost blind, and he found Sagen perfectly right across. Sagen just drives it right to the back of the net. Helveg had no chance.
Well, we were expecting the Frontenacs to come out in this second period with a storm, and it's the Bulldogs that have been motivated. Although we've seen this before. As Byrne will take this back into his own zone.
Yeah, and don't be fooled. This Frontenacs team, they're like an old Russian Red Army team. They can score goals in bunches.
Yeah, 4 goals is a good 10 minutes to Kingston. And the puck will get rolled into the offensive end. Byrne back for it. Entwistle pulling the puck loose. Tried it out front for Zach Jackson. As at the moment, you gotta feel like Jeremy Helvig feeling a little shell-shocked at the Kingston goal. He's gonna need a little help from his mates. Nickel throws it to the goal. Bernie knocked down, and there's Nick Madden with it.
Followed by Hamilton goal.
And Garrigan striding ahead. Rasanen pokes it away from him. Connor Ali has that pick loose. Rasanen gets run into, and we've got another penalty coming down low. It appears that it's going to be Connor Ali who's going off as Garrigan was down without a stick, and it's going to be a high sticking call against Connor Ali. Watch the battle with 14 and 19.
Yeah, just Garrigan steals this puck off of Ali, and it's just frustration. He hooks in underneath, up high on Garrigan, and that is going to be called every time.
So the Bulldogs go right back to the power play as Ben Gleason along for Robert Thomas. Thomas laying it back out for Ben Gleason. Gleason on to Sagen. Wanted Thomas, and that one will roll away from him. Thomas stepping back down, goes backside for Sagen. There was a window there. Strome rolling it around for Thomas. Back towards the line, miscommunication. Thomas wanted it to the middle of the line. Gleason was expecting it on the boards.
Yeah, Thomas thought Gleason was at the top of that umbrella where he usually is. And he came down low to help out, and Gleason put that right through his legs finally.
Gleason laid that for Robert Thomas, who laid it on to Brandon Sagen. Now the puck comes loose. Entwistle steps down. Nice drag and score! Mackenzie Entwistle. What a move! It's 5-0 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, now everybody's having a little bit of a turn here. The Bulldogs on the power play. Sagen, good work on the half boards, gets us out to Mackenzie Entwistle, and he just makes a beauty of a move past the Kingston defense. Bratney, and puts it right over top of Jeremy Helvig. Bulldogs up 5-0.
Well, if you're late getting back to your seat here tonight, after getting a snack, you've missed a whole bunch at the beginning of the second period, pardon me. 3 goals for the Hamilton Bulldogs. That's why I had the number 3 in my head.
Yeah, and Coach Jay Vardy here is taking his timeout now, trying to regroup and refocus his troops here. Down 5-0 early in the second.
And they've got another penalty posted to the Frontenacs on the board.
There's a shot of Brendan Bonello, who is the backup goalie here, and whether some decision will be made at some point, depending how much this thing gets out of control.
They've got a penalty posted to number 20 for Kingston. The problem is Kingston doesn't have a number 20. The Bulldogs do have a number 20, but he's not on the playoff roster. That's Dylan D'Agostino. And I think they may just be correcting this because I see 5 Frontenacs on the ice. Yeah, okay, there we go. I don't know if maybe they were trying to put the time up on the score clock for the timeout, Troy, or what happened there, but that led to a whole lot of confusion.
Yeah, that might have been exactly it. It didn't work in any event.
Somebody hit the wrong button as the puck will come all the way down the ice for icing. 16:52 to play in a second period that has blown this one wide open. A pair of goals from Brandon Sajin, and then Mackenzie Entwistle following up to make it a 5-0 Bulldogs lead.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a fan for either one of these teams. You're in a bit of a shock.
As the puck comes back out in front again, and how did Helvig make that stop? Wow. Well, one thing's for sure, he's not going to give up.
He's just trying to close the door here. Camano finds Studenic right out in front of the net. Again, right in front of Day. And he fires that right into the body of Jeremy Helvig, who makes the stop, keeps this game at 5-1. And I was going to say, if you're a fan of either one of these teams, it's a little bit of shock and disbelief right now.
Nick Madden circles around the corner. Looks back to the line, now continues on himself. On to Ben Gleason, who snapped one off of a stick. That caught back glass. Paquette's the first man back to it. He shovels it around for Broughton. That'll be held in by Gleason. Run off there by Tyler Burney. And now Ted Nickel. Off the boards and out, Gleason catches it down. Gleason trying to wander ahead. Instead, he'll spin back on the pressure from Cranford and play the puck on to Matt. Now Arthur Callier throws one just wide of the goal. Strome bats it back. Gleason along to Mattinen. Mattinen throws it to the goal. Waffle boarded there by Jeremy Helvig. Strome from the odd angle. Stop. Mattinen's drive, and Cranford gets in front of another one. Now Mattinen again. Cranford blocking that one too, and Helvig will stop play. There's a bit of a pileup behind the goal, but there's got to be more concern for Ryan Cranford, who stopped 2 Nick Mattinen bullets, and he is in a lot of pain going off the ice. How about that for guts in a 5-0 game? Cranford's going to do this.
Yeah, this is called never give up, kids, and Ryan Cranford again gets a piece of that one as well, and he took a good one right on the leg in the first period. So Ryan Cranford doing the job of 10 men out there blocking shots tonight.
Troy, you and I and Norm Miller, our other color announcer here on Cable 14, been big fans of Ryan Cranford since we first saw him.
Yeah, you just gotta love the work ethic. Brings his lunch pail.
Puck coming forward with Gabriel Velarde. He went down to a knee to control. Velarde dumped down Justin Lemke, steps back to it. Save made by Caden Fulcher. Lemke working the puck ahead to Robert Thomas. Thomas across the line. Nurse couldn't keep the back foot down. That'll be offside against the Bulldogs. 15-19 to play in a second period that, well, it's a bit of a head scratcher to say the least.
Yeah, shots on goal. 18-13 in favor of the Bulldogs. And And they've just torn this game wide open here in the second period.
Sean Day leaning this back for him, Elliot Ossinen. Now Day off the boards for Hotchkiss. He'll lift it in. First man to it is Day, who stepped ahead. Hanley picked it away from him, but Linus Newman throws it from the point, blocked by Connor Walters, and Mackenzie Entwistle comes to the puck. Entwistle driving wide past Rossinen. Entwistle tried the backhand, and Rossinen just took it right away from him. Strome back down for Entwistle, who tries to A-frame, but that's Rossinen behind him, who just wrestles him to the boards. Brett Newman over on Matt Strome. Entwistle somehow able to pick that through the crowd. Back from Madden, who keeps it alive. Rolls it around the backboard. Strome trying to fight off Brett Newman, who did a great job to just lock him up. And the puck comes out of the zone. And Brett Newman, maybe it is somebody getting it. Fires and no rebound available from Caden Fulcher. Bulldogs did not like the follow-up. I believe it was Sam Field who went right to the net, and Ryan Moore has got him in the old school playground headlock.
Yeah, Caden Fulcher making the stop in there and covering up that rebound, and Sam Field coming in and giving him the poke. And the Bulldogs have taken exception to that, and Ryan Moore right on top of Sam Field, trying to get something started here, anything for his team.
They're both going to go. So you see Field gives him the snow shower, and then it looked like he was trying to put the brakes on, just give Fulcher the snow shower and step away, and he couldn't keep the balance on the one edge, and then kind of fell forward. And when you go into the goaltender at that point, you're kind of expecting it.
Brian Moore in the penalty box there, trying to get Sam Field's attention to continue on the conversation that they had in front of Caden Fulcher.
And at the moment, only one penalty posted, now both up on the board. So Moore and Field will serve the matching minors, which means we're going to have a little bit of 4-on-4.
And that's going to bring Thomas and Sagen out, giving them a little bit more ice space.
And on the other side, Brett Newman and Jason Robertson.
Yeah, so some guys out there right now with some speed and a little more time and space.
Robert Thomas spinning his way back and building up steam. Thomas guides it along to Brandon Sagen, who works wide. Sagen around Broughton. He'll jam the brakes on. Back for Gleason. Along the line, Nick Mattinen. Short feed for Robert Thomas, who came out to help him out. Thomas used Mattinen as a screen, tried to lay it on for Sagen, and a nice deflection will move the puck away. Jake Paquette will attack. Gleason to the boards with Robertson. Paquette down to help out, and Sagen sweeps that away. Now Arthur Kaliev. One-on-one working on Sean Day, rookie on veteran. Kaliev gets the shot away, and Helvig will make the stop. 13-10, and it seems like things have sort of settled down a little bit now in the second.
Yeah, and I'm sure the message on the Bulldogs bench is don't let up on that accelerator, but don't take any chances in your own end. Bulldogs covering in the defensive zone and making sure they have clear breakouts.
Riley Stillman stepping around Sean Day, just poked the puck away. And now puck out of the zone from Raston to Jones, who slides it back into some open space.
Bulldogs need to keep the turnovers to a minimum here in this second period, carried it on in.
Raston and Stillman went for a hit on one another, and almost like they really didn't want to run into one another, kind of backed off at the end. Raston pins up Kaliev. And now Max Jones to pull that away. It's 49, not 19. Back. Puck played forward by Day for Jones. Wing to wing. Poked ahead by Velarde, and the puck will get bounced back to Riley Stillman. Stillman circles into his own zone for Lemke. Lemke goes corner to corner. Strome and Day to the boards. Jones almost left that out in the middle of his own zone. That got whacked away. And Rossinen carefully around back for Day. Moore and Field both out of the box as Max Jones carries the puck ahead. We're back to even and full, 5-on-5 as Day walks down, and Fulcher took that away.
Yeah, Day went blocker side low, and Fulcher just kicked that pad out.
Robertson for Field, couldn't complete the move. That was a tough one to try. Now rolling through is Mackenzie Entwistle, who gets chopped down by Jake Paquette. Bulldogs are headed back to the power play as Entwistle rolled his way through, and Paquette got the stick into the skates.
Kingston in a little more trouble here. 11:32 left to go in the second period. The Bulldogs go back to the power play. They are 2 for 2 so far tonight on the power play. And they are dominating in the faceoff circle as well, 17-8.
That time it's a little help from Ryan Cranford to get the puck away and out, and it's Robert Thomas back for it. Same unit up front for the Bulldogs. It's cashed in on both as Gleason brings the puck ahead for Mackenzie Entwistle. Tyler Burney runs him off. Mitchell Byrne back for it. Gleason in there to create havoc. Sagen pins his man to the back wall, and we'll get the whistle as Brotny was not going to move from on top of that puck. 11:07 left to play in the second period, and a buck 35 in the Hamilton power play. For the first time tonight, we'll see Hamilton's second unit, Troy, which will be Moore, Bitten, Kamano, Kaliev, and Riley Stillman.
Yeah, if Kingston fans, if they haven't had an opportunity to watch number 34, Arthur Kaliev, 16-year-old rookie, doesn't turn 17 until June. 31 goals this season, and boy, he can really snipe it.
He knows how to shoot. As Stillman along for Bitten. Down low, Kamano pokes it out front, and Kaliev, I think Day got a stick on that as that popped way, way up into the air. Either that or Kaliev brought a lob wedge. That certainly does look like Sean Day gets, he definitely does get the stick in there. Faceoff stays in the Kingston zone. Brotny carries it on and out of the zone. Stillman up for Will Bitten, who turns ahead, wanted Kaliev. It escapes past him, and that's icing against the Hamilton Bulldogs. And Troy, that's one of those things. It doesn't matter if it's a 5-0 game. Coaches will pull their hair out when they see icing on power plays.
Yeah, and that gives an opportunity for the penalty kill team to get some fresh bodies out there and maybe match up a little bit better. It's a wasted opportunity for the Dogs here. 1:08 left to go in the power play for the Bulldogs.
As Ben Gleason will bring this puck ahead. On to Robert Thomas. Plays it through his own feet, goes 1-on-2, and somehow comes out the other side with it. Entwistle back for Gleason. Gleason delays for Thomas, who steps down. Backside for Sagen, got into his skates. Gleason saves it along the line. Thomas for Entwistle, out to Sagen, too far in front. Sagen back to Gleason. On to Robert Thomas, who had to extend the stick. Thomas walks down, pulls back, fires wide. To the puck, Max Jones drops down, gets it out, down the rink. Sagen, long feet ahead for Kamano. Rassinen trying to join him. Kamano drags it to the front, goes right into the goalpost, and oh, that'll rock the spine. As Nick Kamano is going to be slow getting back to his feet. He makes the power move, Troy, but then look out.
Yeah, and the stick of Emilio Rassinen gets in there right under his feet, right at the end. You're going to see it right there. And Kamano with the power move. Maybe could have been called a tripping call, but Rassinen maintained the inside groove there, and it was not called. Nice play by Rassinen, nice play by Kamano going hard to the net, and that's how that got in the NHL.
Tunnel, that's so integral for in the playoffs. So Isaac Nurse will come out for now to join Student Each and Ryan Moore. And we'll hope that Commando's able to pop right back out of the tunnel. Paquette is up and out of the box. Student Each flips that along for Ryan Moore, and it's Amelie Dawson, first man back. Sean Day into the skates of Student Each, out front for Ryan Moore, and he scores! Ryan Moore makes it nothing. Bulldogs lead on a nice feed from Marion Student Each.
Now Student Each doing again some hard work down low, retrieves this puck and goes right to the front of the net because he knows Moore is going to be there backside, and he was. And Ryan Moore has scored some big goals in these playoffs, and he continues here for the Bulldogs, 6-0.
And it's been a nightmarish second period for the Kingston Frontenacs. Quite literally, nothing has gone their way.
Ryan Moore with his 6th of the playoffs, and he's just had a great session this spring.
And Coach Jay Verde has got to be looking for answers at this point on the Kingston bench, as the Bulldogs will send Garrigan, Jackson, Kaliev over the boards. Pooh, Robertson, and Hotchkiss for the Frontenacs. And I don't think anybody who came to this building tonight, Troy, expected this.
Well, we may have expected to see 6 goals, but certainly not by one team here.
And certainly not all in a row. 8:57 left to play in the second period. The Bulldogs with a 6-0 advantage over the Kingston Frontenacs. You're watching Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final right here on Cable 14.
Welcome to the Real World focuses on various jobs across Hamilton, geared towards students in grade 12 who are deciding on a career path, college and university students, or adults looking for a career change. Airing this month on Cable 14 and Cable 14 Now.
Well, welcome back to the OHL tonight here on Cable 14. Guys, we're going to dip back into those history books to see how these two teams match up in playoffs. Of course, we're not going to forget what happened last year, 2017. We're going to dip back into those history books to see how these two teams match up in playoffs. Of course, we're not going to forget what happened last year, 2017. Hamilton losing in 7 games. They've only met twice before, surprisingly enough. The other time was back in 2001, round 1. Belleville won that in 4. As for the regular season series that year, Belleville took 5 games to Kingston's 2, and there was 1 tie. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Laura. And at the break, Brendan Bonello has entered the net for the Kingston Frontenacs.
Yeah, Bonello has not seen any action at all in these 2018 playoffs. Has a 3.46 goals against, a .902 save percentage in the 12 games that he played this season.
Yeah, Jeremy Helvig really carried the load for this team, although that's not overly surprising. And we saw an obviously frustrated
possession early on here.
Well, and as we talked about in the second period, Brendan Bonello does return to the cage for the Kingston Frontenacs. And Troy, they got a bit of a jump when he came into the hockey game, got themselves back into a 6-2 score, as Robert Thomas will lean in with Brett Newman to open it up. Madden and Stillman at the blue line for the Bulldogs exchange. Brandon Sagen touches it forward, and Jacob Rodney will knock it down for the Frontenacs. Paquette has it escape in past him. Puck worked up the boards. Thomas flips it back down low. Brandon Sagen around the corner, kicking it loose to himself. Sagen wanted to spin back. Thomas flips it along. Isaac Nurse pinned up by Brotny. Paquette edged out. Brotny, next man. Up the boards. Mattinen's drive, and that was knocked away by Isaac Nurse. Stillman all the way around the back. Here's Brotny. And Max Jones will reverse it, looking for a little bit more time.
Yeah, that was unusual. You don't typically see that.
Paquette ahead for Robertson, who tried to touch it for Brett Newman. That was taken away. Nick Camano with some speed, but Max Jones with a bee in his bonnet comes back to take the puck away. Jones knocked down on Camano's check. Camano stepping in to the front for Student Each. Second chance. Bonello got enough of it. And puck was played down with a high stick by Kingston. So faceoff will stay in the Kingston zone.
Well, Brendan Bonello getting some action here early on in this second period. Had to make some stops there in the second period, but in this third period so far, he's had to stop a couple, come up big for his Kingston Frontenacs, keep them within 4.
Ryan Moore and Gabriel Velarde on the faceoff. Moore around the back of the net, trying to fish that through. Velarde will be the next layer. And Hotchkiss will stop over top of the puck. On to field. Pardon me, Linus Newman. Newman throws it on goal, and that'll be held on to by Caden Fulcher. As we've seen a bit of juggling of the lines, as this time Velarde and Newman out with Hotchkiss.
Yeah, good job by Justin Lemke there, keeping Newman to the outside. All he had was just a shot from outside the rings. Easily stopped by Fulcher.
Bitten on to Strome. Lifting it in to the offensive end. Puck comes past Sean Day off Bonello's play. And it'll be Mitchell Byrne. Up for Sean Day, and puck is shoveled in behind Caden Fulcher and wrapped back around. Day would be caught up in the offensive zone as the puck gets fished loose from Hotchkiss, but already back is Day, and Byrne will spin it back to him. Sean Day reads the play so well.
Yeah, he sure does. Very talented offensive defenseman, offensive-minded defenseman, carrying the puck now for Kingston Frontenacs, deep in the Hamilton zone.
He chases it down on Riley Stillman. Puck taken away. Jackson running Burney to the boards. Puck gets picked loose. Garrigan can't get a touch on it. Rassinen's drive. That'll be waffle boarded away. And it's Ben Garrigan ahead. Garrigan working wide. Rassinen trying to cover him with that long reach. Ran him to the boards. Connor Ali picks the puck loose. Zach Jackson keeps it alive. Mattinen's drive wide of Bonello's goal. Gleason right across. Mattinen now for Zach Jackson. Deals it inside. Back for Mattinen. On to Gleason. Quickly across. Jackson plays it through his own skates. Spins back, but it was Pringle who was right there on Nick Mattinen. And Gleason will head back for the puck.
You know, good offensive presence again for that fourth line of the Bulldogs, keeping the Frontenacs hemmed in their own zone.
Kalia plays that through the middle of the ice, looking for Brandon Sagen. Sagen did get a touch on it, so there's no icing. Brotny playing it for Max Jones, who steps back and now to accelerate. Jones cut off by Connor Walters, but kept his feet moving. Jones to the boards, drops Walters. That is not easy to do. And Isaac Nurse gets turned away from the puck.
Yeah, Robertson gives Walters the old stiff arm.
Now Walters back along for Jack Hanley. Hanley stepping through the crowd, playing it on for Robert Thomas. Thomas, past Brotny, spins back again. Laying it to the middle for Nick Camano, tries to step his way through, and Brotny will take that away. Brotny goes off the boards, and that'll be stolen away by Ryan Moore. Riley Stillman up for Nick Camano. Now Ryan Moore again, trying to pull his way through. Marian Studenic chops the puck loose, and right back out. Controlled pace here to begin the third period as Studenic tries to attack again. Moore around the outside. A couple of sticks get caught up there. Now it's Nick Camano with the puck. Studenic to the goal. Puck was laying dead. Studenic couldn't poke it past Bonello. Hotchkiss giving up to Ryan Moore, who tries it for Camano, and that got played right back out. Linus Newman has all kinds of trouble with the deadwood. Ryan Moore bringing it down. Steps his way in. Studenic tried to throw that back out into the middle of the slot as Matt Strome was working his way in. And it'll be Jason Robertson to challenge Ben Gleason. Madden with the flip ahead. Entwistle knocked down by Will Bitton. Back to Mackenzie Entwistle, who turns wide. Kicked away by Bonello. Entwistle around the back of the Hamilton goal. Bitton was tied up with Mitchell Byrne. Byrne shrugged him off. Bitton hit the ice, and that will be a penalty to the Kingston defenseman for interference. Oh, they'll give him tripping.
Yeah, you're going to see isolation here. Byrne and Bitton right in front of the net, and then Bitton goes to the corner, and he just gets cut off. Interference. Yeah, that was pretty light.
The only thing I can think.
It was pretty light,
yeah,
partner. I've seen interference calls before, and that I was not used as a definition of interference.
Well, now they posted it to the goaltender Bonello.
Yeah, I almost thought it was Bonella that gave Bitton a shot on his way through.
Well, maybe we missed something, because I was watching the defenseman Byrne.
Yeah, because Byrne's coming out.
Yeah. Into the box goes Jason Robertson instead. So we were looking at the wrong player, which would, yeah, it would make sense, because Byrne, that didn't seem like anything. Now, Bonello,
yeah, you see it right there.
Puts the stick out, catches Bitton in the skate. Okay,
yeah, I thought Bonella hit him.
That made more sense than the penalty on Byrne.
But your eyes are better than mine, so.
Puck comes back for Brandon Sajin, and that one went right through and out the other side. Thomas down low. Couldn't get that onto Strome cleanly, but Sajin cuts it off. Tries the short play for Entwistle. Puck bounces loose, and now Sean Day into some open ice. Day working ahead, 1-on-2. Thomas swept it away, but Ted Nickel was the next man. Vulture will play it loose. So the bright side for the Frontenacs is they don't lose a defenseman there, as Byrne's able to stay on, and he's now out on the penalty kill. Sajin on the drop back play. That got cut off.
Yeah, that was dangerous. That was not pretty, that drop back play.
Gleason again looking for the drop back to Sajin.
It was almost a giveaway, and two going the other way for the Fronts.
Bulldogs are trying to work a change while they bring the puck ahead. Now Will Bitton works it in wide on Nickel. Posts up as he makes his way into the offensive zone. Bulldogs get all five on the ice. Stillman's drive. Bonello makes the save. 46 seconds left in the man advantage. 13-16 left in the third.
Yeah, Bonello, like I said, as he entered this game, just playing in 12 games this season. And we have not had an opportunity to see him. Jeremy Helvig played all the games against Hamilton this season, but it looks to be pretty good. He's technically sound, really squares up well.
Will Bitton steps down for Arthur Callie. That one got away from him. One positive about only playing 12 games. Not much of a book on him. Stillman across for Will Bitton. Back now, Riley Stillman. Stillman again on the feed for Moore. Bitton couldn't knock it down. Bitton working to the outside, down low for Camano. Camano around the edge for Moore. 15 seconds left in the man advantage as Moore gets away from Linus Newman. Moore to the top of the formation. On to Bitten. Backside Stillman. Wrist shot. In and out of the glove of Bonello. Robertson on his feet in the penalty box. 2 seconds and 1. And we are back to even in full 5-on-5. Ryan Moore looking for the immediate re-entry. Got it, but the Bulldogs just offside. 12:25 left to play in the third period.
Well, the important thing in this third period with Bulldogs up 6-2 is zone time in the offensive zone of Kingston and not in your own zone, although they didn't get any really good scoring opportunities in that last power play. Ticks off the clock in the offensive zone are the big thing here in this third period.
Studenic wins that back for Riley Stillman, who'll toss it ahead. Bulldogs able to get the fourth line back on the ice as well. Lemke sends it all the way around. Jason Robertson across the zone. Mitchell Byrne chases it back. Isaac Nurse trying to find the steal. Nurse out in front. And that one went off of Bonello and out the other side. When I saw Garrigan, I thought we were going to see Kaliev and Jackson join him. Instead, it was Studenic and Nurse. So just must have been a response to the power play, as this one's going to run for icing. 11:44 left to play in the third period. Bulldogs still holding on to that 6-2 lead.
And Jeremy Helvig is still not come back to that Kingston bench. He is down the tunnel in the shadows there. You can see him right in the back there. And he's refocusing for Friday night's game, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt it'll sting. But again, there's a veteran. He's been through it as the puck gets poked to the front of the net. And how did Caden Fulcher keep that out? Oh my. Caden Fulcher had to switch the pad sideways to keep that from getting tucked in past him by Sam Field.
Sam Field, a good position right in front of the net, stick on the ice, and then lofts it right into Caden Fulcher's body. And he's right there in position to make the stop. And
they may be looking at a review for this one, but we just saw the overhead. And you've got to be able to clearly see the whole puck across the whole line. And unless you and I are really missing something, Troy, that puck did not go in the net. Well, I shouldn't say that. It could have leaked into the net, but you got to be able to see it. And yeah, the officials were not able to see it. That's one of those tricks the goaltenders can play. Puck gets a little bit across the line. They can make it look as if it never happened. As Caden Fulcher will cover it up. And on the bottom of the pile, Mackenzie Entwistle is not happy with somebody. Looks like Tyler Burney. And cooler heads are going to prevail as the linesmen get in.
Yeah, as Burney had his stick right underneath Mackenzie Entwistle, who was down on the ice and he was trying to get it out. And Entwistle took a few shots there by Burney.
Hanley chips that around. Held onto by Field. That rolled the dasher, came right down to Jack Hanley. Hanley's play will get past Matt Strome. Bitten tries to extend the stride, but when you're trying to extend the stride against Emeli Rasanen, you're probably not going to win that battle. That is a long stride to have to go up against. As there's Laura Barney's guess from the first intermission. As Mitchell Byrne from the line throws that into the body of Matt Strome. Puck comes loose. Cranford turns it wide of the goal. Fulcher backhanded that one and was able to hang on to it for the faceoff to his left. Again, I mentioned before, Fulcher has some of the instincts like a second baseman or a shortstop when the puck comes rolling in towards him. And you saw it again right there. Should ask him if he ever played baseball. As the puck bounces down, Sean Day off the boards and out. This one looking for Brandon Sagen. He did not get a piece of it. That'll roll for icing. And this third period is almost ground to a halt with 10:55 left in it.
Yeah, things have slowed right down, particularly in the offensive zone for Kingston. And Hamilton wouldn't want to have it any other way but that. They want face-offs are big here, possession and then out. Nothing inside your offensive zone for Kingston.
Robertson's shot was blocked on the way through. I believe it was Mattman. Now Max Jones fires. That got knocked down on the way through. Isaac Nurse lifting it wide, trying to pitch his way past Sean Day. Day shoves him to the backboards and caught him up high, and Nurse is down. Puck is turned and thrown on goal. Thomas tried the wraparound on Bonello. Isaac Nurse just took a hit up high from Sean Day along the backboards, and now Velarde is stacked up with Lemke, who's got the wrong guy.
Then looks like Isaac Nurse has got a cut just above his eye on that right side as he's being escorted down the tunnel. And Rob Thomas having discussion with the officials on that hit where Day questionably a bit high perhaps, but looked like a good body check from here.
Well, the other thing you have to take into account, Sean Day 6'3", Isaac Nurse 5'11", so
yeah,
there is that,
something's going to give.
There is that height differential.
6'3", 218 against Isaac Nurse, 5'11", 185. You see it right there.
Oh, I think when he got him the second time, the visor came down on the glass and cut him. And it's probably the Frontenacs could not keep the line there. Probably the only time that you wish you weren't wearing a visor is in an instance like that where it comes down and it's a bit of a sharp edge on the bottom.
Yeah, and I know Isaac Nurse wears it up a little high, so the edge of the visor is going to be right underneath his eyelid.
Now let's hope everything else is okay for Isaac Nurse, and it is just a cut, as he has been such a key contributor for the Bulldogs in this playoff run. Byrne wraps it around the boards. Lemke wanted to take a golf swing at it, but it was Max Jones who got there first. Puck gets pushed along the boards. Now to Jason Robertson, who got flattened by Riley Stillman. Sean Day pulls it to the inside and fires. Puck is loose at the crease, and it's Rob Thomas who digs it out of trouble.
Yeah, Rob Thomas down low helping out as a good center should be. The side of the net saved that goal right from Max Jones, who's at the side ready to put that in.
Jones able to tuck that one through on the way into the zone. Pile up along the boards. Penalty coming, and it's coming to the Kingston Frontenacs, and you wonder if maybe Max Jones got a little frustrated as Gabriel Velarde just went right into Jack Hanley. Now Velarde's going to get some attention, and in comes Max Jones, and we got a pile up.
Yeah, Velarde just trying to wind things up here, see if he can get a reaction by the Bulldogs and get them in the box.
So we'll take another look at it before we go to break. There's the first one on Hanley. The whistle had already gone, and then he went into Connor Walters. That's what drew the crowd. There's 9:25 left to play in the third period, and things are breaking down here at the First Ontario Center. We're going to head to a break as the officials get all this sorted out, and we'll be back with you for the latter half of the third right after this.
I started drinking more to deal with stress. Without my realizing it, alcohol took over my life. Finding the courage to go to that first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous was the best thing I've done. I got help from people who know what I've been through. Now I have hope. Alcoholics Anonymous. If alcohol is causing problems in your life, look for us. You can find us in the phone book or on the web at aa.org.
Welcome back to the OHL tonight here on Cable 14. Guys, I had a chance to talk to Gord Simmons. He's in the house tonight. Former owner of the Belleville Bulls, still minority order. He still enjoys coming to games, checking out the team. He's absolutely still cheering on this Hamilton squad now. He says he comes to games once in a while. His son plays for the University of Guelph, so he gets an opportunity to come out here whenever he can. So he's enjoying the game, and I had a chance to chat with him.
It's great that he's in the building tonight, and he's seen a bit of everything overall as the Frontenacs are hosting a bit of a house party in the box right now. Gabriel Velarde, Max Jones, and Jake Paquette are all in that Kingston box. Nick Camano, the only Bulldog currently in, and it looks like he's going to be the only Bulldog. The initial penalty was coming to Max Jones along the bench side boards. And Troy, the puck would then get tossed into the offensive zone. Gabriel Velarde a little bit late on Jack Hanley, finishes off the check, but then after the whistle blows, he goes right into Connor Walters.
Yeah, he's a lot late.
That one is the one that drew the crowd, and then from there...
The funny part of it is, I think Walters would be the last guy on the ice that I think I would go into late. He had his back turned to him, or that may have come out a little differently for Velarde.
And... well, they've got a bit of a problem with the clock because they've listed number 10 as a penalty on the Kingston side. So Max Jones is listed properly. And now what's going on? They got a fourth Frontenac in the box. It's Jason Robertson.
Yeah, there's nowhere for him to sit.
And now they're sending him back out. I have no idea what's going on right now. It's going to be a 5-on-3 for the Bulldogs. That's what it ends up as, but we'll have to await the official calls because they've posted a number 10 for a penalty, and the Frontenacs don't have a number 10.
Yeah, it's definitely Camano's penalty, and he was in that that melee after the Walters hit.
Well, the question is, who is his matching minor with? Because obviously the other two are going to run to give the Bulldogs the 5-on-3 advantage. That's a little bit of insanity. This is where you wish the officials had the microphones like at the NHL level, and they could give you the calls. Okay, so
2 minutes for giving them the business.
Yeah, that's right. Jake Paquette's penalty is now posted, but they've still got a number 10 posted on the Kingston side. So they fixed the wrong one. Is now Velarde has been posted, and they've still got the number 10 on the Kingston side.
Yeah, the timekeepers and officials down the box today have certainly earned their pay tonight with 8 goals and a number of penalties simultaneously to both sides, so
they're having all kinds of trouble trying to get the...
Bear with us.
So what the problem is on the clock they can get the first one to change, but they can't get the second one to change, which is the issue. So there you see the top one has changed about 4 times. It's the bottom one. Now they've got the bottom one changed, so maybe now they've figured out the problem. Because now they've got the bottom one posted to Velarde, which they weren't able to do earlier. And then they've got it posted to Paquette. So, all right. So it's...
and I guess the Jones and Camano are kind of offsetting.
I guess that's the way it boiled out, or they've just given up on trying to change it.
Just no more room.
Yeah. Kaliev and Sajin will exchange. Now Ben Gleason, along with Robert Thomas. Bulldogs, I'm sure, content to take a lot of time off the clock here as Thomas swoops out high. On to Kaliev, who tried it from the sharp angle, and that one will roll off the boards and back down the rink. Kingston able to change 2 of 3 penalty killers as Cranford pressured the puck. Sajin back on to Kaliev, now Gleason. Thomas spins it back along. Sajin, his shot kicked away by Bonello, and that one will be sent down the rink for Fulcher to handle just about halfway through the 5-on-3.
Yeah, Bonello's been pretty sharp when he's needed to be here in the latter half of the second, and third period.
That's Strome. Pulls the puck away from pressure. Brett Newman will strip it from him. Newman trying to walk it through the zone. It got picked away from him. Kaliev lost his stick, and the puck gets knocked down the ice. Gleason from in behind his own net. You're not seeing a whole lot of urgency on the Bulldog power play, and some of the fans are a little frustrated about that. As Riley Stillman steps across the line. Stillman shovels it on. Brotny pulls it out of danger. Sajin knocks it down to himself. 20 seconds left. Stillman on to Gleason. Back across Sajin. Sajin delays. Deals it out high for Stillman. On to Robert Thomas. Half band on the shot, but got it back to Stillman. They spread it out again. Sajin can't get it to go as the puck just hopping around. 5-on-3 now over. Out of the box comes Paquette. Fulcher comes rocketing out. He plays the puck away from danger. Thomas turns the edge on Nickel. Tries to spin back. Can't get it to Entwistle. And we're down to just over 7 minutes left here in the third period. Puck is kicked away by Fulcher as Kingston entered offside, and now Lemke having words with one of the fronts.
Well, this wasn't a physical game thus far until about halfway point of this third period, and we'll see if this all translate over to the second game Friday night. Maybe get a little heat in this series going. Maybe they'll fire up the Kingston front next. That's what they're trying to do. Guys like Cranford and, of course, Velarde and Max Jones trying to get their team fired up as well.
Velarde now with Jones and Robertson. A little bit different from what they opened the game with. As Jack Hanley ahead to Marion Studenic. Up for Will Bitton. Tried to play that on to Ben Garrigan. Mitchell Byrne erased it. Walters shot. Pinello able to knock that away. Studenic back to Hanley. Along for Walters. Sends it on. And that one might have caught Bitton on the way through. Studenic again. Down low to Garrigan. It continues on to Bitton. Velarde pins him. Bitton escapes out the other side. Continues the possession. Tries to turn back. Velarde knocks him to the ice. And the puck pinned up in the pile between Byrne and Garrigan. 6:19 to play in the third period. And we would like to thank this season's dinner sponsors, Pizza, Shoeless Joe's, Swiss Chalet, Limoncello, and the George Hamilton. Show your support by visiting their establishments throughout the year. Those are the fine folks that feed our crew that allows us to bring you the OHL tonight. As Arthur Kaliev ahead for Nick Camano. I think I can safely say I've been to all those places. As the puck comes back, Matten into Gleason. Sends that on goal. And Connor Ali, I think, got a piece of that on the way through. Gleason keeps it alive, places it open space for Kaliev. Back out high for Ben Gleason. He walks in, his shot deflects. That one goes up and out of play. Camano and Rastanen have a bit of a bump along the back boards. Everybody separates, and we got 5:43 to play in the third.
Boys, Ben Gleason really had himself a game tonight, both offensively and on the defensive side in his own end. He's really taking care of things back there and was an igniter early on.
You can think of a half dozen to a dozen, just off the top of my head, NHL franchises that could use a defenseman in their system with the skill set of Ben Gleason.
Yeah, Gleason with a goal and 2 assists in this one.
Hopefully a nice
4 minutes and penalties. He's got the whole set.
That's right. Hopefully a nice shiny new contract comes his way this summer. As Entwistle dives and just able to knock the puck away from Hotchkiss on the second opportunity. Gleason pinned Hotchkiss up. Entwistle comes over to help it out. And there's Will Bitton to take the puck away. Paquette back into his own zone. Puck is played around the boards. Entwistle puts the brakes on, and Brotny just went with him in the momentum. And now Brodny's giving it to him with the stick. And Whistle gets up and says, I've had just about enough of that. And the linesmen get in there real quick as Justin Lemke in again. And we're going to have to see how this all squares out. It looked like the officials pointed to Lemke for a penalty on the end.
Yeah, see this Entwistle just falls just prior to Bratney getting in on him, and then everybody else moves in. And of course, Bratney's going to get a couple minutes, and Entwistle getting a couple minutes. Lemke's going to get an extra.
And we'll see how this shakes out, but I believe Kingston's going to get the power play out of this as Lemke came in at the end and took a swipe.
Yeah, and Rob Thomas, that's what he's trying to figure out. How does that end up in a power play for the Kingston Frontenacs? That's what he's asking, exactly what he's asking.
Yeah, and you saw the reaction there. That explanation was not satisfactory to Robert Thomas or to Coach John Gruden, as they'll even out the penalties between Brodny and Entwistle, and you would have thought that Brodny would have gotten 2 for cross-checking. He and Entwistle would have gotten 2 each for roughing, and then if the extra penalty came to Lemke for coming in and taking a swipe, everything kind of evens out. But that's not the way.
Not so much.
Gone. Yeah.
5:08 left to go in this third period. 6-2 Bulldogs up over the Kingston Frontenacs, who are going to the power play.
Brodny gets the 2 for cross-checking. Entwistle gets roughing. And Lemke gets roughing as well. He tried to get at Brodny. I don't think he ever actually got there. But the officials obviously trying to cool it down as Sean Day brings the puck out high. Day circles back, bounces one along for Jason Robertson.
Kingston 1 for 3 on the power play tonight.
Robertson has the puck knocked away. Rob Thomas is the next man. Brett Newman came over to help him out. And another penalty coming to the Bulldogs. And I don't think the Bulldogs are going to be happy about this one.
Yeah, it's Rob Thomas.
And
it might be on the slash. And
it's Scott Oakman, who he was having words with at one point, who makes the call. And there you see him turn around. Well, he gives a whack.
Yeah, that's a pretty good two-hander.
Yeah, gives a whack to Matthew Hotchkiss. So the Bulldogs didn't like it, but it's a 2-man advantage for the Kingston Frontenacs for the next minute 18, and they have got some ghosts in the clock. As right now they got a penalty posted that reads 7 minutes and 2 seconds to a number 2. So you can see what they were trying to do there. As, you know, I said this to Norm Miller once, Troy, when they've had issues with the clock in the building, that the old ghosts of the Montreal Forum had to go somewhere when that building came down.
Yeah.
And you wonder if they maybe inhabit the...
Wrapped them up and brought them here.
Yeah. They maybe inhabit the clock above center here at the First Ontario Center some nights.
Yeah, big face-off win there by Matt Strome in his own zone.
So Sean Day will bring the puck ahead. Day on with Velarde and Jones, Linus Newman and Jason Robertson. And it's Jones. Down low, Newman. Sean Day working across, Gabe Velarde. Sean Day again. Puck is centered, and Jack Hanley got in the way of that. Sean Day stepping on. Velarde backside for Jones. Puck gets poked through the crowd by Hanley. He'll go off the glass and down the length of the frozen river. 33 seconds left in the 2-man.
Yeah, good job by Hanley. Didn't mess around with that. Got it out of the zone and in a hurry.
Puck is brought across the Hamilton line by Linus Newman. Lays it back for Sean Day. Day on to Velarde. Stillman got a touch on it as Linus Newman got leveled in front by Nick Mattinen. Now Velarde on for Day. He makes the save. Mattinen locks up with Newman again. And they'll separate there in front. It's actually kind of funny, Troy, because The Bulldogs weren't happy with the penalty to Justin Lemke down low, and what Nick Mattinen did on the penalty kill there to Linus Newman in front of the net was more of a penalty than what they called Justin Lemke for. Mattinen just bowled right over Linus Newman away from the puck. As Rasanen works this one along for Connor Ali. Mackenzie whistles back onto the ice. Rasanen. Off the edge, that was thrown towards the goal. It'll roll to the line. Rasanen again extends the reach, kept it alive. Now Mattinen will get there, and he'll shove it down the rest of the way. Just 25 seconds left in the penalty to Robert Thomas. Brett Newman, the speedster. Flips that along for Ted Nickel. Puck was intercepted on the way through, rolled right back out. 10 seconds left in the penalty to Robert Thomas.
Yeah, Bulldogs doing a great job at the line, frustrating Kingston on their entry.
Hotchkiss and Commando collide. And it's down the rest of the rink. Robert Thomas is out of the box. We're even in full 5-on-5, 2:20 left to play in the third.
Yeah, I know it's 6-2 here with just under 3 minutes left to go in the third, but no real sense of urgency on the power play by Kingston here. And it's done.
Tossing it ahead for Brett Newman. Puck is shoveled in. Ben Gleason back for it. Newman tries to pick it through. Gleason now with a little bit of open space on to Zach Jackson. Wanted it through the middle for Studenic. That got knocked down. Gleason will send it the rest of the way with $1:50 to go. Puck gets wrapped around. Gleason steps down. Tried to throw that in front. It was off the leg of Sean Day. Brett Newman turns. Puck is flipped ahead. Bernie whacks it out of the zone. Minute and a half to go, and Nick Mattinen skates it in. Mattinen threw his own feet. That was a nifty move for the big man.
Yeah, it took one out of the Robert Thomas playbook.
Oh, Studenic, nice awareness to get that to Sajin, but Pinello's there to make the stop. Sean Day, a little bit too much on that to get it to Tyler Bernie. That'll run the length of the rink, icing with $1:13 to play in regulation.
Well, we'll be back here on Friday night. Same time, same channel. And John Gruden is Hamilton Bulldogs here for game 2.
As Ryan Moore wins that back for Jack Hanley, Sajin steps down and fires. Second chance rolls away to the line, and Hanley picks it up outside. Walters on to Kaliev. Now Ryan Moore back in. Back against the grain. Sajin works his way to the outside. Sajin steps down, throws it on, and that one wide of the goal. Kaliev back for Walters. Puck is shoveled along and kicked loose. Tyler Bernie will be the next man. Puck is knocked down by Brandon Sajin, and he'll just leave it in behind the Kingston net. And as you can see, both teams kind of accepting the inevitability here with 30 seconds to play.
I think the important thing here is to get out with no injuries and no suspensions.
The Bulldogs will hope Isaac Nurse is all right. As Arthur Kaliev picks that forward. 15 seconds to go. Ted Nickel wants to turn it up. Hit Brett Newman in the skates. Down to 5 seconds left. As Nickel works in, his shot blockered away by Fulcher. Tried to throw it off the side of the net. Newman from the seat of his pants can't get that one on goal, and that is how game 1 will end. The Hamilton Bulldogs with an impressive effort, and they will win game number 1 by a 6-2 final and take the 1-0 advantage.